Hey guys, Jai Hind. Sir, goods and services tax. I hope you are getting the point. And sir, we have covered under CGST Act, section number 9, levy of GST, IGST Act, section number 5, levy of IGST. And sir, the taxable event under GST is supply. And supply is defined by section number 7. Section number 7, subsection 1 says that supply includes, clause number A, all forms of supply such as sale, exchange, barter, transfer, lease, license, rental or disposal of goods or service or both, when such supplies are made or agreed to be made by a person for a consideration in the course or furtherance of his business. Okay, sir, clause number AA says that any unincorporated AOP BOI and its members are two separate persons, and if they are indulging into any transaction for a consideration between themselves, then it is a supply. And sir, clause number B says that, sir, if you have imported some services for a consideration whether or not in the course or furtherance of your business, it is supply. And clause number C says that, don't worry, even if there is no consideration, even if there is no consideration, it will be supply, and once it is a supply, then GST will be levied. And at present there are 4 transactions which are covered in schedule number 1. Sir, see here. Clause number A says that it should be for a consideration plus in the course or furtherance of business. Clause number B says that import of services should be for a consideration whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. Clause number C says that, don't worry, even if it is without consideration, then also it is a supply if the transaction is covered in schedule number 1. And sir, in schedule number 1 there are 4 transactions. Now we have to begin with schedule number 1. Okay, sir, there are 4 transactions which are covered in schedule number 1. Sir, this is schedule number 1. These are the statutory provisions which are given here. Right? Okay, sir, I'll explain you one by one. Sir, first transaction is permanent transfer or disposal of the assets of the business. Permanent transfer or disposal of the assets of the business, although it is without consideration, it will be supply if ITC was availed on such assets. Sir, if ITC was availed on the purchase of the goods, if ITC was availed, then sir, what would have happened? Suppose I'll give you an example. Sir, the para number 1 says that permanent transfer or disposal of the assets of the business where ITC has been availed. Okay, so it will be supply although if the permanent transfer or disposal is without consideration. I'll give you an example. Suppose I have purchased 10 laptops for my business, and on purchase of those laptops I have availed input tax credit of GST paid on those purchases, and now I have donated those 10 laptops to a charitable institution without any consideration. Sir, since I have donated, permanent transfer or disposal of the assets of the business where ITC has been availed, so it will be supply, and whatever ITC I had availed on purchase, I'll have to reverse it or I'll have to pay the tax. Clear? So it is considered as supply. Reason being, logic is, you have purchased the capital goods, laptop for your business, but you availed the credit and you donated those laptops to charitable institution. Ultimately, you are not using those capital goods for your business purpose. Then why we should allow you the credit? So that's why if you have availed the credit on purchase of those assets, then on permanent transfer or disposal of such assets, it will be considered as if it is supply, and yes, GST will be charged on such donation or such permanent transfer or disposal of the assets. Okay, done. Second para. Supply of goods or service or both. Supply of goods or services or both by a person to his related person or a distinct person in the course or furtherance of his business. I repeat, if you have supplied the goods or services to your related person or to your distinct person, to your related person or distinct person, which is defined in section number 25, subsection 4 and subsection 5. In the course or furtherance of your business, then it will be supply although the transaction is without any consideration. Okay, I'll give you one example, but before giving the example, sir, let's discuss the definition of related person. Okay, before that, I'll give you the example so that your mind will get opened. Suppose, sir, husband, wife are related person as per definition given in GST Act. Spouse. Suppose I am a manufacturer of mobile phone. Okay, and I have gifted the mobile manufactured in my factory to my wife, who is my related person. Obviously, I can't charge any consideration from my wife. Otherwise, you can understand what will happen to me at my home. Sir, so I have supplied the mobile phone to my wife without any consideration. She is my related person and the mobile manufacturing is my business. So I have supplied the goods or services without any consideration in the course of furtherance of business to my related person. Yes, GST will be payable and it will be supply. I hope you are getting the point. Okay, so ultimately what will happen, whatever you are doing, whatever activity you are doing for your business, if you are doing the same for your related person or a distinct person without any consideration, then also it will be supply. Okay, now point comes, what do you mean by related person and what do you mean by distinct person? Okay, the related person term is defined in section number 15. An explanation is given in section number 15. Section number 15 is regarding valuation. So in that explanation, definition of related is given. From there, I have brought the definition here. Sir, as per explanation to section number 15, related person have been defined as follows. Persons include obviously legal persons also. Deemed as related person if such persons are officers or directors of one another's business. Such persons are legally recognized partners. Such persons are employer and employee. They are related person. Okay. A third person controls, owns or holds directly or indirectly at least 25% of the voting stock or shares of both. Suppose it is A Limited and it is B Limited and Mr. Y is holding at least 25% of voting power in both, then A and B both will be called related person. Then one of them controls directly or indirectly other. Suppose A Limited controls B, then it will be related person. A and B will be related person C. The word control is not defined in GST Act. Control in common parlance means, suppose you are controlling the business decisions. Suppose you are controlling board of directors. You are controlling administration. Then it will be called, they are controlling, A is controlling B. Okay. Then a third person controls directly or indirectly both of them. Suppose A Limited and it is B Limited and Mr. M is controlling both of them. Then A and B both will be related. Obviously, A and M are related. A and M are related because both are, because M is controlling A. M and B are related because M is controlling B. But A and B will also be related person, a kind of sister concerns. Okay, sir. Such person together control directly or indirectly a third person. Suppose A and B together are controlling Mr. C. Yeah, C Limited. Okay, then A and B will be called related person. Such persons are members of the same family. The family word is defined here. One moment. And last point, one of them is the sole agent or sole distributor or sole concessionaire of the other. Then it will be called related person. Clear? And the term family is defined in section number 2 clause 49, which is given here at family means, sir, very carefully, read it very carefully, because you know one question was framed in the exams and many of the students have made the mistake here at. Read it carefully. In family, family means the spouse and children of the person. Sir, spouse is always related and children of the person are always related, and the parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters of the person, if they are wholly or mainly dependent on the said person. My brother will be my related person for the purpose of GST only if he is mainly dependent on me or wholly dependent on me. If he is not dependent on me, then he is not my related person as per GST Act. Sir, question will give you the information that your brother is providing services to you. You are carrying on your own business of manufacturing mobile phone, and your brother is a consultant, legal consultant. He is providing you consultancy services without any consideration. Is it supply? Answer is no. Why no? although he is supplying the services in the course or furtherance of his business, although it is without consideration, but he is not your related person because he is not dependent on you, because he is a legal consultant, obviously not dependent on you, sir. Not related. Okay. But yeah, in case of spouse and children, they are always related whether they are dependent or not. Okay. Done. So very carefully you have to give the answer, because you know all these points will define whether it will be covered in the scope of the term supply or not. Okay. Clear? Done. So I think the term related is clear at your end. Okay. Sir, so the provision was supply of goods or service or both between related person or between distinct persons. Now what do you mean by distinct persons? What do you mean by distinct person? Sir, for that one simple example of registration I will give you. Sir, if you are registered under GST, if you are registered under GST, sir, then your registration number is 15-digit alphanumeric number. Okay. Sir, first 2 digit is the code of the state. Suppose 08 is the code of Rajasthan. Then next 10 digit is PAN number. AQWPM 1444N. Then next 3 digits are, sir, this is the branch number. And these last 2 digits are IT digits, checksum. With software based they issue the numbers. Okay. Sir, suppose I am registered in Rajasthan, this is my registration number, and if I am having 10 more branches in Rajasthan, first question comes, do I need to have separate registration for each and every branch? Compulsorily, answer is no. Sir, I can take single registration of all the 11 locations located in Rajasthan, and I have the choice that I can declare any one place as my principal place of business in my registration, and I'll have to declare remaining 10 places as my additional places of business with single registration number. Okay, but I have a choice. If I want to take separate registration for any of the branch, I can take. Okay, so in that case, if I am taking another registration in the same state, if suppose one location I want to take separate registration, my registration number may be 08 because I am located in Rajasthan only, same PAN number because ownership is the same. Okay, then it will be 2. Z3, it is software based issued number. I am assuming that same Z3 is issued. These are checksums. Okay, sir, so here it is 1, here it is 2, but PAN number is same, so ownership is the same, but both are 2 distinct person. These are 2 distinct person. But if I had not taken any separate registration for my another branch in Rajasthan, then those are not distinct person, they are the same person. If the same person having the same PAN number, if that person is having 2 separate registration, then those will be called distinct person. Another example, suppose I am having one more branch in Maharashtra. One branch I am having in Udaipur, Rajasthan. Another branch I am having in Maharashtra, Mumbai. Sir, I will have to take separate registration for the location which is located in another state, because you know in each state separate SGST Act is there. Sir, so my registration number at that branch is 27 is the state code of Maharashtra. Then AQWPM 1444N. This is my PAN number. 1. Suppose there at again Z3 or whatever number is given by the software. So here it is 27. See, PAN number is same, ownership is same, but registration number has changed. Yes or no? So if PAN number is same but registration number is different, then those all branches are called distinct person of each other. Okay, so suppose I am having a branch in Maharashtra, another in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, I'll have to take separate registration for two different states. But in the same state, if I am having more than one branch, it's my choice whether I take the single registration or I want to take, sir, separate registration for separate units. But if it is to different state, definitely there are two different registration number. So, sir, if any question says that one branch is located in Maharashtra, another is in Tamil Nadu, definitely there are two distinct person. Okay, sir, but if you are having branches in the same state, then question will have to specify, sir, whether they have separate registration or single registration. If they have separate registration, then only they will be distinct person, otherwise they will be same person. Okay, now coming to my point. Sir, this is what I have told you regarding registration and distinct person. Okay, now coming to my point. Sir, here para number 2 it says that supply of goods or service or both by a person to his distinct person in the course or furtherance of his business, although without consideration it will be supply. So one of the best example, if I am transferring some stock from my Maharashtra branch to Tamil Nadu branch, it is, sir, interstate branch transfer of the goods, although without consideration, then also it will be supply, and if it is supply, then GST will be levied, although it is without consideration, because definitely Maharashtra branch and Tamil Nadu branch are two distinct person, because those are having same PIN number but different registration number. That's why they are two distinct person, and if they are two distinct person, then GST will be levied on the, sir, interstock branch transfer, although it is without consideration. Okay, done, sir. So this is para number 2. I am repeating the point. Supply of goods or service or both by a person to his distinct person or his related person in the course or furtherance of business. See, if you are supplying the goods or service to your related person or distinct person, it should be in the course or furtherance of business. Otherwise, if you are talking to your spouse, sir, or your spouse is giving some personal advice to you, GST will be charged, although it is without consideration. So condition is it should be in the course or furtherance of business, then only it will be supply. Okay, done. Okay, sir, one more point. Employer and employee are related. Employer and employee are related, we have read this. But if any employer is giving any gift to his employee, sir, you might have seen that many corporates give some facilities to their employees, like suppose I am an employee in Reliance Jio. Jio provides free Wi-Fi connection, free Wi-Fi facility to their employees at their residence. So Jio is providing services to their related person in the course or furtherance of business, although without consideration. So it is not supply at all, sir. But since employer and employee are related, although it is without consideration, then also it will be supply, GST will be payable. So to keep it out of the ambit of the GST, government is mentioned one restriction, one condition or one limitation, that if employer is giving some gifts to the employee, and if the gifts are up to the value of rupees 50,000 per annum per employee, then it will not be supply at all. So employer can give gifts valued at up to rupees 50,000 per annum per employee without any GST, and no GST will be charged, although it is without consideration, it is in the course of furtherance of business, no worries. But suppose I am a mobile manufacturer and I am manufacturing a mobile for rupees, and the value of the mobile is rupees 75,000, and if I am gifting that mobile to my employees, then yes, it is exceeding 50,000, GST will be charged. And since the single mobile was worth rupees 75,000, more than 50,000, so entire 75,000 will be charged to GST, in my opinion. But yeah, if multiple gifts are being given, then up to 50,000 it will not be supply at all, and if it is exceeding 50,000, then the value exceeding only 50,000 will be chargeable to GST if those are multiple gifts. And if single gift of 75,000 is given, then entire 75,000 will be chargeable to GST. Clear? Done. Sir, this is para number 2. Okay, sir. Sir, there are some circular also here. Here there are some circular also. I'll give you the detail of those circulars. I'll explain you the circular also regarding distinct person. Suppose I'm an airline company and my branch is located in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Another branch is located in Delhi also. I am registered in Delhi. Suppose I am transferring some parts, components, engine, etc., accessories, etc., of the aircraft from my Mumbai registration number to Delhi branch. Interstate branch transfer of the goods in the course or furtherance of business, although it is without consideration, yes, it will be supply and GST will be charged. Okay, and yes, whatever GST I had paid on purchase of those parts, components, accessories or engines, I will take the input tax credit, and whatever GST I'll have to pay for my branch transfer, for my output tax liability, I can use the ITC availed. Okay, done. Second, so to send those parts, components or engine, I use some transportation services. But sir, I was having my own aircraft, I was having my own truck, I was having my own mode of transportation. So I used my own truck to transport the parts of the aircraft from Mumbai to Delhi. Sir, and that what the truck will do? The truck will unload the goods and truck will be returned to Mumbai branch. You tell me, when the truck was going from Mumbai branch to Delhi branch, whether the truck itself is supplied? No. The mode of transportation, the conveyance, which is just being used for transportation of the goods from one branch to another branch, from one distinct person to another distinct person, if the just mode of conveyance is being used to transport the goods or passengers, suppose director is going from one branch to another branch using a car of the Mumbai branch, he will visit to Delhi branch and again he will come back to Mumbai branch. Sir, whether the car is supplied? No. So mode of conveyance, whatever you are using for transporting the goods or passengers from one distinct person to another distinct person, mode of conveyance is not supply at all. But yeah, suppose truck was sent from Mumbai to Delhi and permanently it was sent to Delhi only, truck also, then truck will be supply from Mumbai to Delhi branch. Okay, third example, suppose after unloading the goods at Delhi branch, truck is returning to Mumbai branch, but when the truck reached at Delhi branch, it got some damage, and Delhi branch provides repairing services to vehicles also, and Delhi branch provided repairing services to that vehicle belonging to Mumbai branch. So although it is without consideration, since they have supplied the services to Mumbai branch, in the course or furtherance of business, it will be supply. So supply of service will be there. Repairing service is a service provided by Delhi branch to Mumbai branch. Okay, done. So third example, suppose I am an engineering company. We provide engineering services, repair maintenance services to big machineries, big plants. Sir, large plants we repair, we maintain, we provide maintenance services, repairing services to large plants. For that, sir, whenever maintenance or repairing services are being called by our clients to us, what we do? We take our repairing machineries, etc., to the client location, and to take those machineries, those parts, those rigs, tools, etc., to client location. So those are heavy machineries, heavy plants for repairing the plants. So what we have done? We have prepared one truck, and on that truck we have installed some repairing machineries. We have permanently kept some tools, parts, or some spare parts, crane, etc., so that we can easily move the all machineries, etc., required for repairing from our location to client location. Okay, sir, suppose we are having one branch in Maharashtra, another branch in, sir, Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu branch also provide these engineering services to their client, and Maharashtra branch also provide engineering services to our client. We are having five trucks at each branch, which are having already pre-installed machineries required for repairing, etc. Sir, suppose Tamil Nadu branch is having excess demand and all their machineries are occupied, but Maharashtra branch is having one extra set of machinery which is installed on a truck. So they called Maharashtra branch, please send that truck temporarily, sir, to our location and we will use that machinery for our client. So you tell me, if the crane, if the truck, if the parts, components, tools or the machinery which is required for repairing is sent from Maharashtra to Tamil Nadu branch, our distinct person, are we sending it permanently? No. So it is not supply at all. But yeah, the consumables which are there on the truck, which will be consumed while providing the services to the client. So those consumables are permanently going to like Tamil Nadu branch. So only those consumables will be supplied. Otherwise, that entire truck, crane, parts, spare machinery are not supplied at all. Those will be returned back. Clear? Done. So these are some examples, some circulars which were given regarding the distinct person. I hope you are getting the point. Okay, sir, we are reading schedule number 1. Schedule 1, para number 1 says that permanent transfer or disposal of the asset of the business where ITC has been availed. Second, supply of goods or service or both by a person to his distinct person or related person in the course or furtherance of business supply. But if you are providing gifts value exceeding rupees 50,000 to employees, then only it will be supply, otherwise it will not be supply at all. Sir, third says that supply of goods by principal to his agent, where agent undertake to supply the goods on behalf of principal and vice versa. Supply of goods by agent to his principal, where agent undertake to receive the goods on behalf of principal. I'll explain you. Supply of goods by a principal to his agent, where agent undertake to supply the goods on behalf of principal means, suppose I have appointed you as an agent, but what you are doing like C&F agent, clearing and forwarding agent, Dell creditor agent or any other agent. Now what agent is doing? I will send my goods to my agent. I will send my goods to my agent without any consideration. But what agent will do? Agent will sell the goods to the customer on my behalf, and while issuing the invoice to the customer, agent is issuing the invoice in his own name. Then in such case, when the principal is sending the goods to the job worker, it will be when the principal is sending the goods to the agent, it will be considered as if it is supply. So when the goods are being sent from principal to agent, although actually it is not supply, but it will be treated as if it is supply, and GST will be charged by the principal on his invoice, and sir, agent can take the input tax credit of that tax charged by the principal, and when the agent will issue the invoice to the customer in his own name, then liability will be created and he can utilize the credit. Clear? But if the agent is not issuing the invoice in his own name to the customer, he is just issuing the invoice in the name of principal, then directly principal is selling the goods to the customer. So when the principal will send the goods to the agent, it will not be supply, it will be sent directly through delivery challan. And when agent will sell to the customer and the invoice is being raised in the name of principal, then only it will be supply, and yes, directly it will be treated as if principal is selling the goods to the customer, and whatever commission invoice agent will raise to the principal, that is just a supply of service by agent to principal on which he will charge the GST. That's it. Okay, vice versa. Suppose I have appointed you as my purchase agent. Whatever you will purchase, see, your purchasing power is very smart. You are having good purchasing power. You are having smart skills in purchasing the goods. So what we have done? We have made an arrangement like, whatever order comes to you, whatever stock we want, I will give you the instruction, and you are my agent, you will purchase on our behalf. But when you are purchasing the goods, supplier from whom you are taking the goods is raising the invoice in the name of agent. Then when agent will send the goods to the principal, it will be treated as if agent is supplying the goods to the principal, and the original supplier who has raised the invoice in the name of agent will be eligible to take the credit on the basis of that invoice, and agent will raise the invoice to principal. It will be treated as if agent has sold the goods to the principal, and He can utilize the credit. He will mention the GST on the invoice raised to principal, and principal can take the input tax credit on the basis of the invoice issued by agent. Clear? Done. But yeah, if the supplier from whom purchases were made is issuing the invoice directly in the name of principal, then there is no point of any supply between principal and agent. Agent simply will raise his invoice of commission, that is supply of service by agent to principal, and sir, that's it. No supply of goods by agent to principal in this case. Okay. So, who is raising the invoice, in whose name invoice is being raised, is of importance. It will decide whether it is supply of goods or not. Okay. Done. Sorry. Para number 4. Acha, one more thing. See, for principal to agent, circulars are given. First circular, I have already given you the example. Second circular is regarding del creditor agent. Sir, the del creditor agent, what del creditor agent does? Sir, he promises to the principal regarding payment. Del creditor agent makes payment to the principal immediately, and he provides some credit term. He provides some credit term to the customers, and against that credit term, he charges some interest from the customers. Okay, now point comes whether that interest will form part of value of supply or not. Whatever interest del creditor is charging from the customers, whether it will form part of value of supply or not, because you know, when we will read section number 15 valuation, in section number 15 subsection 2 clause number D is there, that if you are charging any interest, late payment fee or any charges from your customer against supply of goods or service, then that will also form part of value of supply, and it will be chargeable to GST. Otherwise, if you are just giving loan or advances to your customers or any other person, and if you are receiving any interest, suppose you have made some deposits in the bank, fixed deposit FD, you are getting the interest, no GST is charged, no GST is chargeable on the interest which is earned on loans and advances. It is exempted from GST under mega exemption list, notification number 12 of 2017. We will read it afterwards. But yeah, here, if the del creditor agent is charging interest from his customer, will it form part of value of supply or not? So point comes, whether the del creditor agent is issuing the invoice in his own name to his customer. If it is yes, it means the transaction is getting covered in schedule number 1. So when principal will raise the invoice to the customer, when principal will raise the invoice to the agent, sir, it will be supply, because agent is going to issue the invoice to the customer in his own name. So when the del creditor agent is issuing the invoice to customer in his own name, it means del creditor agent is supplying the goods to the customers. He is the actual supplier for customer, and if he is charging interest or late payment fee over and above the price, then that interest or late payment fee will form part of value of supply on which GST will be chargeable. But if the transaction is not getting covered in schedule number 1, means if del creditor agent is issuing the invoice in the name of principal only to the customer, means he is not raising the invoice in his own name. Del creditor agent is issuing the invoice in the name of principal to the customer. Then in such case, he is just an intermediary. Directly, principal is selling the goods to the customer. But, you know, del creditor agent is paying the consideration to the principal immediately, and del creditor agent has just provided loan to the customer. Clear? And on any loans or advances given, if you are earning any interest, then it is exempt from GST, and interest will not be chargeable to GST at all in this case if agent is not raising the invoice in his own name to the customer. Clear? Done. Sir? Okay. Sir, this is para number 3 of schedule number 1 along with the circulars relevant thereto. Now coming to para number 4. Import of services. See, we are reading schedule number 1. Section number 7, subsection 1, clause number C, supply without consideration. Okay, sir, section number 7, subsection 1, clause number C says that although these are without consideration, then also it will be supply, and in that para number, for that schedule 1 is given, in that 4 transactions are covered. We are covering now para number 4. Para number 4 says that import of services without consideration from your related person. or a distinct establishment located outside India in the course or furtherance of your business will be supply. Okay, import of services by a person. Import of services by a person, although without consideration, but from his related person or his distinct establishment located outside India in the course or furtherance of his business, yes, it will be supply, although without consideration. Suppose your distinct establishment is located outside India. See, one more, I'll change the example. This was the question of CA final. Sir, your brother is located outside India. You are carrying on some business in India and he's a legal consultant, he's a lawyer outside India. You have taken some services from them in relation to your business. He has not raised any invoice. He has not charged any consideration whether it is supply or not. Answer is no, because your brother is not your related person, because he is not dependent on you. At the same time, if we change the example, if your distinct establishment who is located outside India or any other related person who is covered in the definition of related person is providing services from outside India to you in the course or furtherance of your business, although it is without consideration, yes, it will be supply. And the recipient who is importing those services need not be registered person. Earlier, it was mentioned that import of services by a taxable person, but the taxable person word has been replaced by a person. Means whether you are registered or not, whether you are liable for registered or not, it's of no concern. You are a person importing some services without consideration from your related person or a distinct establishment located outside India in the course or furtherance of business, yes, it will be supply. Clear? Done. This is para number 4, and that's it regarding schedule number 1. So schedule number 1 covers 4 paras, and in those 4 paras, if your transaction is covered, although it is without consideration, then also it will be supply. Clear? Done. Okay. Sir, for import of services, I have just framed one summary. If import of services is for consideration, then section number 7, subsection 1, clause number B. Import of services for consideration, whether or not in the course or furtherance of business, it will be supply. But import of services without consideration, and if it is done from your related person or distinct establishment, plus it should be in the course or furtherance of business, then it is supply, although without consideration. But in other cases, it is not a supply at all. Suppose Google, you are just searching something on Google, it is free, na? Although Google is located outside India, they are providing services to you, it is without consideration, but not, sir, you are not related person or not distinct establishment of each other, so not supply at all. Okay, sir, done. So this is it regarding schedule number 1. This was section number 7, subsection 1, clause number C. Sir, see here. Section number 7, subsection 1, clause number C. Okay. And sir, clause number D, earlier clause number D was there, it is omitted and it is framed as subsection 1A. Now, see what subsection 1A says. Section number 7, subsection 1 is over. Now we are coming to subsection 1A. But yeah, before coming to subsection 1A, I'll give you one overview of subsection 1. Suppose, sir, any question come in your life, whether this particular transaction is supply or not. How to decide, how to define, what mindset should you apply? Sir, first, just check. Section number 7, subsection 1. Supply includes, clause number A. Sir, all forms of supply. Is it for a consideration? Is it in the course or furtherance of business? If answer is yes, supply by a person for a consideration in the course or furtherance of business. If it is yes, then yes, it is supply. But if suppose if any of these two, consideration or in the course or furtherance of business, is missing, then it is not supply as per clause number A. Now refer clause number AA. Transaction between AOP BY and its members for a consideration, it is supply. Okay, it's not a big thing. Clause number B. Sir, if it is import of service for a consideration, okay, whether or not in the course or furtherance of business, then it will be supply, otherwise it will not be supply. If it is import of service without consideration, not supply as per clause number B. Sir, now refer clause number C. Sir, If your transaction is getting covered in clause number A, then it's fine. If it is getting covered in clause number AA or B, then it's fine. And if it is not getting covered in clause number A, AA or B, then check clause number C. But check clause number C only if it is without consideration. If it is without consideration, and if it is getting covered in any of the 4 paras given in schedule number 1, then it will be supply. Otherwise, it will not be supply at all. Means you'll have to go step by step. Whether any transaction is supply or not, go with section number 7, subsection 1, clause number A. If it is getting covered, then that's it. If it is not getting covered, then clause number AA, clause number B, clause number C. And if it is getting covered in any of these para, then it is supply. And if it is not getting covered in any of these clause number A, B, C or AA, then it is not supply at all. Okay, sir. Sir, should I give you the example? Sir, suppose any of your friend is getting confused in his business whether I should take this deal or not. He discussed with you over the call or over a meeting. You are just a friend. And you gave him advice. But obviously, he is your friend and you have not asked for any consideration and he has not paid any consideration to you. The transaction is without consideration. Sir, you have given your professional advice to your friend, and friend is not covered in the definition of related person. It is without consideration. So supply. Now whether it is supply or not, clause number A should be for consideration, not supply. Clause number B is regarding AOP, BOI and members. It's not relevant. Clause number B, that was AA. Clause number B is regarding import of service. It is not regarding import of service. Clause number C is without consideration. Yes, their transaction was without consideration. Now there are 4 para. First, permanent transfer or disposal of the asset. No, it is not there. Second, between related person or distinct person. No, it is not there. Third, between principal to agent or agent to principal. No, it is not there. Fourth, import of service from related person or distinct establishment. No, it is not there. So it is not covered at all in the term supply. It is not supply at all. No GST will be charged. This is how you have to define whether any particular transaction is supply or not. I hope you are getting the point. Now coming to clause number 1A. Clause number 1A says that there were some disputes in the industry that whether this particular transaction is supply of goods or supply of service. See, we don't have any dispute regarding whether it is supply or not. The transaction is supply. The transaction is supply as per subsection 1. Then only coming to subsection 1A. The transaction is supply as per subsection 1, but there was dispute that whether it is supply of goods or supply of service. So for that, to remove the ambiguity, sir, schedule number 2 was inserted by the government, and schedule number 2 says that, sir, there are 6 paras. As of now, there are 6 paras which have defined certain disputes which were prevailing in the industry, and they have clearly defined that yes, this is supply of goods, this is supply of service, this is supply of goods, this is supply of service, and like that they have just given a list of transactions which are covered in schedule number 2. So now we are covering schedule number 2. There are 6 paras where they have decided, government has predefined that yes, it will be supply of goods, no need to make any dispute. There were disputes in the earlier laws, service tax, excise, VAT laws. To remove all these disputes, government has specifically given schedule number 2, and they said that yes, it is supply of goods, it is supply of service, no need to fight with the department, and even department can't fight with the client, with the assessees. Clear? So just to remove the ambiguity, schedule number 2 is given. Now schedule number 2, what does schedule number 2 says? Sir, activities or transactions to be treated as supply of goods or supply of services. First para is regarding transfer of goods. Sir, one second. Okay, I have intentionally hidden the answers. Okay, you yourself will say that whether it is supply of goods or not. Sir, you tell me first. Transfer of title in any goods. Suppose I have sold these goods to you for rupees 1 lakh. I have transferred the ownership to you. Whether it is supply of goods or service, you tell me. Obviously, sir, it is not service, it is supply of goods. Correct. Second, sir, I have given the goods to you on rent or on hire, on lease. You tell me whether it is supply of goods or service. Obviously, it is supply of service. So suppose I am transferring the right in use of the goods or undivided shares in goods without transfer of title in goods. I am not transferring the ownership of the goods. It is supply of service only. And sir, one more. Para number 6. Para number 5. Para number 5. Here, clause number F is given. Transfer of right to use any goods for any purpose. For any goods, if I am transferring the right to use means effective control position, then also it is supply of service. It is supply of service only, sir. So, whether you are transferring the right in use or right to use, it is supply of service. Earlier in the weight law, service tax law, there was a big dispute, but now no need to go in detail of that dispute, because ultimately now in the current scenario, it is supply of service only. So, whether it is finance lease or it is operating lease, I repeat, whether it is finance lease or operating lease, both lease payment monthly basis or whatever periodic basis you are making, it is supply of service only. But yeah, sir, suppose it is a finance lease. In the finance lease, each monthly you are making lease payment of rupees 10,000. Suppose 10,000 is supply of service, but at the end of the lease period, you have the option to get the ownership of the goods on payment of certain amount. Suppose at the end of the lease period, you have the option to get the ownership of the goods on payment of rupees 2 lakh. You have paid at the end of the lease period. Till the end of the lease period, each month you are paying rupees 10,000. It is supply of service. But at the end of the lease period, if you are opting the option of getting the ownership of the goods by paying rupees 2 lakh, then that transaction of rupees 2 lakh is supply of goods. Otherwise, each lease payment of rupees 10,000 is supply of service only, sir. Okay, done. And last, sir, hire purchase is supply of goods. Although you are making the payment in installment, but yeah, there it was defined that ownership shall pass at a future date upon payment of all the consideration, all the installments. So, hire purchase is the best example. It is supply of goods. But finance lease is not the example which can fit here, because here ownership shall pass. In the case of finance lease, you had the option to get the ownership. Ownership shall pass. Sir, it is not decided at the time of giving each monthly lease payment. In the case of finance lease, so each monthly lease payment is supply of service, and the final, if you are buying the goods by paying some consideration of rupees 2 lakh, then it is supply of goods, that particular last transaction. Otherwise, sir, each lease payment is supply of service only. But yeah, hire purchase, in case of hire purchase, it is decided that on payment of all the installments, on payment of full consideration, you will get the ownership. That's why each installment you are paying is supply of goods only. Clear? Done. Second is regarding land and building. Sir, lease, tenancy, easement or license to occupy the land is supply of service only. Same way, sir, lease or letting out of the building, including commercial, industrial, residential complex for business or commerce, either wholly or partly, is supply of service. If you are giving any land or building on rent, it is supply of service. Land, lease. See, one circular is given regarding tenancy premium. Sir, suppose I have given one building to you on lease, but at the end of the lease period, you are a tenant. Sir, I asked you to vacate the building, but to vacate the building, you are asking me to pay rupees 5 lakh. So, because what you are claiming, that by using this building, I have increased the value of this building, because my business is running here ahead. Customers are coming automatically here ahead by looking at the building itself, by looking at our brand. So, even if we vacate the building, then also customers will come here and you can use that goodwill. So they want some premium from us. This is called tenancy premium. Sir, if outgoing tenant is charging any tenancy premium, then yes, it is supply of service, because he is providing right to occupy the building. Sir, supply of service and will be chargeable to GST. Clear? But owner of the property is charging tenancy premium. Again, it is supply of service, GST will be charged. But Sir, if you are giving any residential dwelling, if you are giving any residential dwelling to any unregistered person for his personal use, for use as residence, then renting of residential dwelling for use as residence to unregistered person is exempt from GST. It is given in mega exemption list. So if the owner of the property is getting any rent from the tenant in regard to residential dwelling, then GST will be exempt. And even if the owner is charging tenancy premium, if the owner is charging tenancy premium from the incoming tenant for residential dwelling for use as residence for his personal purpose, again GST will be exempt. But yes, if the outgoing tenant is charging any tenancy premium, whether from the incoming tenant or from the owner of the property, GST will be charged, whether it is residential property or another property, it's of no concern. Clear? Done. Sir, circular is also given at the end of this table. Sir, now para number 3 is regarding treatment or process. Sir, if you are doing any treatment or process on another person's goods, like you are a job worker or you are providing repairing services, sir, or any other services you are providing on any of the goods belonging to other person, it is a supply of service. In the previous law, during excise, job worker was covered in the definition of manufacturer. That's why this clarification was required to be given through Schedule 2. Okay, it is supply of service. Now, para number 4, transfer of business assets. Sir, transfer of business assets. First, sir, permanent transfer we have already read. Listen to me carefully here. Permanent transfer or disposal of the assets of the business, sir, without any consideration on the direction of the person who is carrying on the business. Sir, you tell me, permanent transfer, it is supply of goods or service? It is supply of goods. But yeah, it will be, sir, the question of whether it is supply of goods or service will come only if it is covered in the definition of the term supply. So first of all, you will have to check whether it is supply or not. If it is without consideration, then first of all you will have to check whether it is covered in schedule number 1 or not. If it is covered in schedule number 1, then only it will be supply. And if it is supply, then only question will come whether it is supply of goods or supply of service. And since it is permanent transfer or disposal of the asset of the business, it is supply of goods. And if it is temporary transfer, then it is supply of service. Sir, suppose I have put some assets of the business for my personal purpose other than for business purpose. Sir, suppose one machinery is there which was used for my business purpose. I had purchased it for my business purpose, and for 10 days I have taken that machinery to my house, or any of the employee has taken that machinery, the employer has allowed him to take to his house for his personal or private use, not for business purpose. Then since it is temporary transfer, so first of all, since it is without consideration, you'll have to define whether it is supply or not. And if it is supply, then it is supply of service. Clear? Done. Sir, next is regarding business assets. Suppose para number C says that, para number 4, clause number C says that, sir, if any person ceases to be a taxable person, if a person ceases to be a taxable person means if somebody has surrendered his registration number is cancelled, or he has surrendered his registration number, then whatever goods are there in his stock, whether it is capital goods or inputs, whether it is semi-finished goods, finished goods, inputs or capital goods, all the goods will be treated as if he has supplied the goods to himself, because now he is not registered at all. So that person will use those goods for any transaction on which no GST will be charged. But on purchase of those goods, if he has availed the input tax credit, then only it will be covered under the scope of the term supply, because permanent transfer or disposal of the asset without any consideration is supply only if ITC was availed at the time of purchase as per schedule number 1, para 1. So if you are withdrawing your registration, it is very important point. Many of the people do not consider this point while doing practice in the practical market. Sir, this is very important term. If you are ceasing to be a taxable person, if you are cancelling your registration, or if you are withdrawing your registration under GST, then all the goods, whether it is capital goods, semi-finished goods, finished goods, If on the purchase of those goods you have availed the credit, then you will have to reverse it. And the formula to reverse this, that how to compute the amount of payment, is given in section number 18, which we will be reading. This is given in section number 25, which we will be reading in chapter number 5. How to calculate that amount? It's a different point. It is supply or not? This is what we are reading, and it will be supply of goods. But yeah, there are two exceptions. First, sir, the business is getting continued as a going concern either by his legal hires, or he has transferred the business to somebody else who is carrying on the business as a going concern. Then in such case, what will happen? You tell me. I will have to cancel my registration, and the another person, the legal hire or other person to whom I have transferred the business, will continue the business with his own registration number, because PAN number is changed. So I'll have to surrender my registration number, and he will continue with his own GST number. So there is no loss of revenue to the government, because anyways, on the supply of those goods, GST will be payable by the other registered person. The person to whom I have transferred the business will pay the GST. So there is no loss of revenue to the government. That's why it will not be supply. But if it is not the case, I am not transferring the business, my business is not getting continued by another registered person, then in such case, if I am surrendering my registration number, or if the department has cancelled my registration number, then all the goods on which I have availed the ITC is supply of goods. Clear? Done. Sir, this is para number 4. Now coming to para number 5. In para number 5, there are 6 transactions, all are supply of services. All are supply of services. Sir, para number 5. Clause number A says that renting of immovable property. Obviously, it is supply of service. Sir, earlier in the Delhi High Court case, one of the case of belonging to assessee in Delhi service tax, Delhi High Court had given a disputed judgment. That's why they had to put it in declared services under service tax. And here they have continued in the form of Schedule 2 supply of services. They have specifically said that it is supply of service. There is no point of dispute at all. In renting of immovable property, whether you have transferred the effective control or possession of the property or not, it's of no concern. If you have provided any immovable property, it is supply of service. Sir, now coming to clause number B, one of the very important point, one of the very good point of schedule number 2. Sir, what does this clause number B says that? Para number 5, clause number B of schedule 2 says that construction of a building, complex, civil structure or a part thereof, comma, including a complex or building intended for sale to a buyer, either wholly or partly, except where the entire consideration is received after grant of completion certificate by the competent authority or its first occupation, whichever is earlier. That's it. Sir, everything got bounced. When you started the point, we said that yes, but sir, go Goa, go on. Sir, don't worry. I'll tell you what this point is. That's why I said that very important point. See, I'll take one example. Suppose I am providing Mr. Y. Y means Yashvant, obviously, is providing services to Mr. Rohit. Sir, Mr. Rohit is a person who is owning his land in Mumbai. He is the owner of a land which is located in Bandra, Mumbai. He approached me. He said, Yashwant, can you construct a building here? I said, yes. He said that whatever material you require to construct the building, I will provide you, whether it is cement, iron, steel, whatever the material is required, you give me the details of those materials. I will provide you the best quality. You will have to construct the building. Will you do? I said yes. So I am providing construction services to Mr. Rohit. Whether I am constructing a building or complex or a civil structure or any part of the same, it is supply of service. Any doubt? No doubt. Sir, this is para number 5, clause B, first part. See, I'll tell you, I have done two parts of this point. See here, this is barrack portion. Construction of a complex building, civil structure or a part thereof. Now here it is a comma. Sir, now the words are getting started from including, and before including there is a comma. Sir, it is part 1, and from including till end it is part 2. Okay, it is part 2. Why in a single sentence I have mentioned that it is part 1, part 2? Just because of this comma which is there before the word including. Sir, you just mentioned in your book. Why there are, sir, why I am telling that because of this comma, this is the impact. I'll explain you after 5 minutes, but yeah, before this, just mention in your book and I'll explain you this point and then I'll explain you what the importance is. These are interpretation of law. Just mention it in your book as of now. I'll explain, don't worry. Okay, sir. Now, sir, Mr. Y is providing construction services to Mr. Rohit. So it was construction of a complex building, civil structure or a part thereof. That's it. It is a supply of service. That's it. Now, second part was, I'm teaching you the second part, and why I'm doing part 1, part 2, this I'll explain you after some time, 5 minutes. The second part was including a complex or building intended for sale to a buyer, wholly or partly, except where the entire consideration is received after grant of completion certificate by the competent authority or its first occupation, whichever is earlier. I'll tell you, I'll explain you, don't worry. I am taking one example. Suppose I am a builder. I am constructing a building. Sir, that building is having, suppose, 100 flats. Suppose I am constructing a building, that building is having 100 flats. Suppose each flat is for rupees 1 crore. See, normally, usually, the value of the flat depends on the location of the flat, on the height of the flat, etc. But, you know, just for example, we are taking as, sir, the value of flat is 1 crore each. Suppose I am constructing a flat, Mangal Tower. Yashvant Mangal is constructing Mangal Tower. Sir, now my point is that, sir, to construct those 100 flats, sir, before constructing the 100 flats, I have opened that project before the public, and you know, while the building is not ready, while the building is under construction, then also booking of the flats are, many of the flats are booked. So suppose in this example, out of 100 flats, 70 flats are already booked before grant of completion certificate or first occupation, which was earlier, and 30 flats not booked. Okay, sir, first of all, point comes when it is said that flat is booked. If I call the builder, if you call the builder that please book flat number XYZ for me over the call, will he book it? No. Sir, over the call, we don't even book the seat of the class for a student. How can he book the flat? Because he needs some consideration, some advance. Okay, sir. Sir, suppose it is the policy of the builder that if you pay rupees 1 lakh, we will book your flat. Okay. So for 70 flats, rupees 1 lakh is received as advance And this 1 lakh advance is received before completion of the building. But when it will be called that building is completed, so for GST purpose, the trigger point when it will be considered that building is completed is the issue of completion certificate by the competent authority. Sorry. So issuance of completion certificate by the competent authority is the trigger point when it will be considered as if building is complete. Okay. So for 70 flats, rupees 1 lakh each received as advance before grant of completion certificate by competent authority. Now, who is the competent authority? We will discuss afterwards. Okay, sir, it means even if the building is complete in its all respect, competent authority suppose do not issue the completion certificate, then for the purpose of GST law, building is not completed. And after the completion of building, if completion certificate is not received and if somebody buys the flat, then it will be considered as if it is supply of service, because it will be considered as if building is not complete at all, because this completion certificate is not granted to you. That's why government has, while introducing the GST, government has mentioned one more point here. Before grant of completion certificate by the competent authority or its first occupation, whichever is earlier. So for 70 flats, rupees 1 lakh advance received, rupees 1 lakh each for each flat received as advance before grant of completion certificate or its first occupation, whichever is earlier. So the trigger point is either grant of completion certificate by the competent authority or its first occupation. Means if the building is complete in its all respect. What is the relevance of this whichever is earlier, first occupation? The relevance is if the building is complete in its all respect. Sir, light connection is there, sewerage connection is started, water connection is started, and building is complete in its all respect. And even if completion certificate is not granted by the authority, but if first occupation take place, any of the person, any of the owner of the building, owner of the flat occupies the flat, then it will be considered as if flat is complete. And sir, after that, if flats are sold, then no GST will be charged. Sir, see here, 30 flats not booked means no consideration received till grant of completion certificate by competent authority or its first occupation, whichever is earlier. Clear? So suppose if sir, I have just bifurcated these 2 points. Now giving the logic, the flats which are booked before grant of completion certificate or its first occupation, whichever is earlier, it means under construction flats are booked. It means suppose I am a builder constructing this Mangal tower, I have booked a flat for say Deepika Padukone, Kajal Agarwal, Alia Bhatt, Ananya Pandey. Sir, now people are saying, sir, one flat for us also. Sir, okay. Sir, suppose I have booked a flat for Ananya Pandey. Sir, Kajal Agarwal. Okay. Now, when you came to book the flat, what I will say? See, I am constructing this flat for Kajal Agarwal. See, I am constructing this flat for Ananya Pandey. See, I am constructing this flat for Alia Bhatt. It means I am constructing the flat for them. It means I am providing services to Alia Bhatt or Deepika Padukone or Sir Ananya Pandey, Salman Khan, etc. So, government specifically inserted this within the scope of the term supply of service, and it is supply of service, because I am constructing the flat for them. They have booked it under construction. But suppose completion certificate is granted or first occupation take place, building is complete in its all respect, and if you buy the flat, then you are just purchasing the flat. You are just purchasing the immovable property from me. Sir, if it is sold subsequently, if I sell the flat subsequently, then it is just sale of immovable property, and sale of immovable property is neither supply of goods nor supply of service. We will read it, Schedule 3. Schedule 3, Para 5 says that no GST is leviable on sale of immovable property. So, no GST will be charged on those sale of 30 flats. But yes, GST will be charged on these 70 flats because these were booked under construction and builder is providing services, construction services to, sir, the people who have purchased the flats. Now, listen to me again very carefully, very important term now. So 70 flats I am constructing for other. So these are supply of services, and GST will be, very careful, leviable on entire rupees 70 crores. 70 lakhs I am not talking about. Sir, although you have paid only rupees 1 lakh as consideration for each flat, 70 lakh only I have received as advance. But yeah, GST will be levied on entire rupees 1 crore because I have booked the flat, not the only balcony for Alia Bhatt. And the value of flat is rupees 1 CR. If GST is payable, GST will be leviable on entire rupees 1 crore, not only rupees 1 lakh. Yeah. As of now, I'll have to pay tax only on rupees 1 lakh. Means I have to pay tax only on the amount which I have received now. As per time of supply, we will read it. But GST will be levied on entire rupees 1 CR. This is the point. GST will be leviable on entire rupees 70 crores. Reason being, entire flat was booked and I am providing construction service of entire flat. Yeah, although, no need to worry. As of now, GST will be payable on only rupees 70 lakhs and remaining amount of tax I'll have to pay as per time of supply. As in when I'll get the money, I'll have to pay the tax. Not, I don't have to pay the tax on entire rupees 70 crore just at the time of booking. No. Clear? GST will be payable to the government as per section number 13, subsection 2, that is time of supply. We will discuss afterwards. Okay, but yeah, GST will be levied on entire rupees 70 crore. This is the theme. Okay, because I am providing services of construction of entire flat and entire value will be chargeable to GST. Okay, done. Sir, so this is Schedule 2, Para 5, Clause B, second part. Clear? Done. Sir, but yeah. Now coming to this point. I am constructing a building for Mr. Rohit. A land is there whose owner is Rohit, and Rohit has given me contract. You construct the building, I'll provide you all the material. Sir, I am just providing the construction service, but Mr. Rohit has mentioned a condition that I will not pay even a single penny of rupee until building is completed, and entire consideration will be payable by Mr. Rohit after the completion of the building only. Then also it is supply of service, sir, because I am just providing the construction services to Mr. Rohit. Sir, there is no condition that consideration should be received before grant of completion certificate or like that. Reason being, see, this comma was there. This comma was there. And this comma has separated part 1 and part 2. Sir, rules of interpretation, rules of adjunct generis. While reading the law, if some phrases are there and in that any marking, comma or like that are inserted, then those have got some sense. Those are not nonsense. Sir, as per grammar, suppose any sentence is going on, in between end comes the same sentence. Suppose this comma is there before the end. Usually, as per grammar, comma should not be there before the end. This is correct. But while reading the Bare Act, we have found that at some places end is written like this, and at some places end is written like this. Comma was inserted. We can't say that by mistake typing error is there. No, if in the Bare Act, if comma is there before the end, it is intentionally put in. Sir, we can compare the words used at two different places, and we can compare it. If there is some difference of this comma like that, it means these are intentionally put in and there is some sense of it. And what is the sense? This comma has no doubt sentence is not complete, it is not full stop, but this comma has put a break in between the section, in between the line, and due to this break, if any condition is imposed here in the second line, in the second part, if any condition is imposed here, this condition will not apply here in part 1. This condition will not apply in part 1. And if comma was not there, if any condition is mentioned here, it will apply here also. Same is the case with the including. See here. Usually, as per grammar, if you see comma should not be there before including, it is correct. But while reading the Bare Act, we have seen that in the same act, government has used, at some places no comma is used, at some rare places comma is used before including. It means it has got some sense. And what is the sense? There is a break in between the sentence, and due to this break, if any condition is imposed here, then this condition will not apply here. And yes, this para number 5 clause B is the perfect example for this. And sir, before including there is a comma. See here. Before including there is a comma, it means it has got some sense and intentionally it is put in. And what is the sense? The condition which is written here, that except where the entire consideration should be received before grant of completion certificate, this condition is not applicable here in part 1. That's why, sir, here, if I am constructing a building for Mr. Rohit, even if entire consideration is received after grant of completion certificate, it's of no concern. Obviously, sir, Rohit is not booking any flat. Sir, land belonging to Rohit, I am just constructing the building. I am just providing construction services to Mr. Rohit. So it's a supply of service, no doubt on that. Clear? But in case of under construction building, if some consideration is given before grant of completion certificate or first occupation, whichever is earlier, then only it should be supply of service. Otherwise, it is merely sale of flat only, sale of immutable property, not chargeable to GST. That's why in a single line, sir, Bare Act are drafted so carefully that each and every word, if it is read carefully, then in the language which is used in Direct is the perfect language, error free language, we can say. Because beyond the act, even Supreme Court can't do anything. Clear? That's why act has to be drafted very carefully, in a short manner and in a smart manner. Oh, sir, and I think you understood what I have taught you. Sir, why the comma was inserted, what is the importance, and what is the exact point? Sir, I'll repeat the para number 5, clause number B. Sir, listen to me carefully. Sir, now it will be fitted in your mind. I guarantee this. I bet this. Sir, schedule 2, para number 5, clause B. Construction of a building, complex, civil structure or a part thereof. For Mr. Rohit, I am constructing. That's it. It's a supply of service. That's it. No doubt on that. But Mangal Tower is also supply of service, except 30 flats. Mangal Tower 100 flats is also supply of service, except 30 flats. Sir, just listen to the language. Sir, construction, including a complex, construction of a complex, building, civil structure or part thereof, supply of service, including a complex or building intended for sale to a buyer, Mangal Tower, except wholly or partly. Sorry, either wholly or partly, except where the entire consideration, not even a single rupee, except where the entire consideration is received after grant of completion certificate by the competent authority or its first occupation, whichever is earlier. I hope you got the entire point here. I repeat, construction of a complex, building, civil structure or a part thereof, including a complex or building intended for sale to a buyer, either wholly or partly, except where the entire consideration is received after grant of completion certificate by the competent authority or its first occupation, whichever is earlier. So, except 30 flats, even if a single rupee is received before grant of completion certificate, that entire flat will be supply of service. That's it. Bharat Mata ki Jai. This is para number 2, para number 5, clause B of schedule 2. Okay, now last point comes, who is the competent authority to issue the completion certificate? Who is the competent authority? It depends on your local or municipal laws. If as per your local or municipal law, any government authority is supposed to issue the completion certificate, then that government authority itself is the competent authority. Nobody else will be competent authority. But if your local or municipal law do not have any such requirement of issuance of completion certificate by the competent authority, if they do not have any such requirement, then completion certificate issued by any of these 3 authority will be competent authority first. If there is no requirement of the government authority, then only registered architect under Architect Act, chartered engineer as per Engineer Act, sir, licensed surveyor of the particular area. If you get the certificate of any of these 3, then it will be competent authorities certificate if there is no requirement of government authority as per your local or municipal law. Clear? Done. So these are the competent authority, and if they do not issue the certificate, and if building is complete in its all respect, and if the first occupation takes place, then that will be a trigger point. After that, if any of the flats are sold, then it will be only sale of immovable property, not chargeable to GST at all. Clear? Done. I hope this entire para number 5 clause B is clear now. Okay, sir. Now clause number C. Just a few minutes. This entire para will be clear. This clause number C says that temporary transfer or permitting the use of any intellectual property right, IPR, like copyright, trademark, patent, etc. If you are transferring temporarily, if you are allowing the use of such copyright, suppose I am an author, I am giving rights to my publisher to publish the books, and he will give me some royalty. It is supply of service. Sir, supply of service by author to publisher. Then next is, sir, I am developing a customized software for you, not ready-made software. Ready-made software like Tally, many accounting softwares are there, na? These are just supply of goods. But I am developing, implementing, designing, programming, customization, adaptation, upgradation, enhancement or implementation of the information technology software, then it is supply of service. Sir, many of the customized software are developed to run the video classes. These are supply of service. But yeah, if it is ready made, then it is supply of goods. Next, non-compete agreements. Agreeing to obligation to refrain from an act or to tolerate an act or a situation is a supply of service. I repeat, agreeing to obligation to refrain from an act or to tolerate an act or a situation or to do an act is supply of service, just like non-compete agreements. Suppose you are a mastermind in courier business. You are a mastermind in courier business. I am already doing courier business in Chennai and you are located in Madras. You are located, suppose, sir, I am located in Chennai and suppose you are located in Bengaluru. Sir, I asked you that please do not come to do business of courier in Chennai. Otherwise my business will get ruined. You said, why should I not do the business in Chennai? I'll do it. I said, I'll pay you rupees 10 lakh per annum for not doing anything in Chennai. You said, okay, done. So I am paying you rupees 10 lakh for not doing anything. So if you are getting something for not doing anything, it is also supply of service. Sir, agreeing to obligation to refrain from an act or to tolerate an act or a situation or to do an act is a supply of service. Clear? Done. Sir, one very big and very good circular is given regarding this. This we will be discussing. This big circular will be discussing at the end of chapter number 9. Okay, sir. Transfer of right to use any goods for any purpose is supply of service. We have already discussed this. Clear? So these are the 6 sub-paras in para number 5. All are supply of services. First was renting of immutable property. Second was construction service. Third was, sir, intellectual property right, temporary transferring or permitting the use. Fourth is, sir, customized software. Fifth is, sir, agreeing to non-compete agreements, etc. And last is, sir, right, transfer of right to use any goods is supply of service. Okay, done. So these are 6 sub-paras in para number 5. Clear? Done. Now coming to para number 6. But yes, don't worry, we will not stress this lecture much more. We will discuss from para number 6 in the upcoming session. Okay, till that, please complete the points at your end also. Clear? But yeah, please have click of the slides which I have written here. Right? These are very important. This will be useful for you. Okay, the supply definition. We have just reached till subsection number 1A. Please have a click. Be quick. Okay. Done. Sir, we have already taken this click in the last session. Yeah, please do. Please click it. This is para 5. Close B, first part, schedule 2. Okay, please have a click of this slide. Done, sir. Please do it. Sir, this is schedule 2, para 5, close B, second part. Very important and very good chart. Done, sir. If you want, you can copy it because it will be useful for interpretation of law for just your reference. Okay, done, sir. Please study well because you know there is no substitute for hard work, sir. And if you do the hard work, definitely life will be easy for you. All the best. Take care. Love you a lot and study well. Mahul.